Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of new gameplay today. Featuring New World. We're back. How is everybody today? I hope you're fantastic. I am your host for this episode of GI Today Live, Dan Tack, and we're playing New World. You may say, but Dan, we played this earlier this week. And I would say, that is very true. Welcome. We're a bit deeper into the game experience now. And I've got lots more to talk about. I've got impressions, I've got feelings, I've got thoughts. And I'm sure you do too. And I'm here to talk about them. What's up, everybody? We're going to be going for a couple hours today, checking out stuff, killing some zombies, looting some saltpeter. You know, what else do you do in this game? Nope, those are the things you do. Okay, good. Let's get some quests.
I greet you in reverence, fellow pursuer of knowledge.
Oh, I already got some. Neat. Oh, wait, this territory is governed? Oh, we actually... Nice! So the territory control war has begun on my small little server. This will be a much bigger deal on release, but as you can see, the purple reign of the Syndicate has begun. Ooh. And I'm not quite big enough to start doing these more interesting Azoth staff activities here over, in Marauder territory, but we've still got plenty to do. So let's get out there. We'll do some PvP a bit later, but we're going to start off today with just PvE. As that, you know, PvP is going to get pretty deep in the weeds, and we're just going to end up doing nothing but PvP once we start PvPing. Because that's kind of how this goes. So until then, let's just we'll take a little hike across the territory here and see what's going on. Great to have all you here today, as always. It's kind of nice out here, you know. I can kind of smell the musky gunpowder and pumpkin pie and cornbread from the town, you know what I mean? Kind of. Okay. To be fair, I can't make pumpkin pie yet, okay? But I'm hoping I can. Alright, so one thing I'm trying to work on right now is my harvesting skills. Because I need to harvest a lot of hemp so I can start crafting linen so that I can make bullets. I've got a lot of the other materials needed to make bullets, and bullets are expensive, you know? If you're going to use a gun in this game, the cost is pretty restrictive. And that's cool because the guns are pretty good, actually. They're pretty powerful. But it's way easier just to make arrows out of, like, you know, turkey feathers. Okay, you didn't see that. Okay, this rabbit's gotta go. So as I work up my tracking and skinning ranks, I actually get to see animals on my little... You won't notice this at the beginning of the game, because you kind of have to get into it a little bit before you start seeing it, but... small game and larger game will actually show up on my radar at the top. You see that Skyrim-style radar? You see like little rabbits and wolves and stuff like that. So as you get better as a tracker, you kind of inherently know where wildlife is going to be to help facilitate your goals in farming those critters up. And here we go. Some sun creeper. Obviously, a lot of sun creeper growing outside in my backyard right now. Anything that helps the harvesting skill, we're going to collect on this adventure. And you know, you kind of just do your crafting and gathering activities while you're doing your regular stuff. It's pretty seamlessly integrated. Like, they got that down. They got the cycle of integrating farming and crafting into your regular activities at a nice pace. 1 second here. Just going to do a final sound check over back at home base to make sure everything's running smooth. It is wonderful to have you here today, folks. Okay. Now, let's continue the adventure here. Oh boy. This guy's not messing around. Oh my god. Zangmaster says, "Oh snap, the adventure continues." That's correct. Welcome, Zangmaster. We're a little bit hardier than we were on day 1. We've got our professions going. We've got some ammunition. We've got some skills. And I'm actually becoming quite an accomplished cook out here in frontier cuisine. Would I say I've been having fun with the combat? No. The combat is the weakest point of this game, for sure. I just put a write-up, actually, on GameInformer.com. It might have gotten drowned out with all the new EA announcements, but I'm sure people will be checking it out. I have my beta impressions posted on GameInformer.com, which I'd recommend checking out at your leisure. I think the combat system is probably the weakest portion of this game. I do have things I do like about this game. But I think combat is probably the weakest aspect. And that's kind of a big deal in MMO, so it's not to be ignored. Like, I know some folks have, like, you know, turned it into sort of like, are slamming it for being like, you know, 3 buttons or whatever. Yeah, it's a little more than 3 buttons. But it's not exciting, and it's not very interesting. It's just kind of there. So unless you're into the other aspects of the game, which you may be, I wouldn't play it for the combat. That's got to be said. The combat, in a way, kind of just becomes another gathering tool, you know? That's a good question, Zang. Thank you. Strix971 says the combat looks a bit weird. Yep, the combat's awkward. To me, it is not like it is one of the weakest elements of the game. I found other points of the game that I do like. Is it controller friendly? So I can't test that right now. Controller support will be in on launch, according to Amazon. However, it is going to be supported on a controller, and based on you know, how much lifting is involved right now, I think this game would sync up pretty nicely to a controller, actually. I kind of think that it was designed with controller in mind. That's a little speculation on my part. But it seems that combat would be controller friendly, 100%. And that support will be live on launch, which is August 31st. So right now we have to farm a bunch of chests up in this little farmstead in order to complete a little mini quest. Basically, right now at this point in the game, we're going to be doing mini quests. So we can do mini quests, we can do PvP, we can do farming, we can do faction. You know, there's lots of stuff to do, but it's all very, very similar, kind of, outside of the territorial and PvP stuff. If you're into territory games and big guilds and faction wars, I think this game has a lot more appeal to you than sort of a traditional MMORPG. I think the traditional elements of this MMORPG are kind of the weakest ones, like the combat and the dungeons and the stuff like that. Like, that kind of stuff seems to be on the weaker side, whereas giving players a playground to mess with each other is one of the major salient selling points to me of this experience currently. And you know, here in beta, we're not going to get a true sense of that, but people are certainly going to prepare and learn the ropes, right? But on release, I expect, like, you know, big guilds to form, even before that, right? People are going to start recruiting now for their big server guilds that are going to try to take over the world, so to speak. By fighting each other and controlling territory. To that point, though, you know, it's PvP is interesting when you've got lots of people fighting each other and, you know, talking smack, and you have these rivalries that form between individual players and factions and guilds. That's always been interesting, all the way back to Shadowbane and Dark Age of Camelot in the MMO space, right? But however, you know, the combat, again, you don't have a whole lot to do in combat most of the time. Even in a big PvP fight, you know, it's probably going to be, again, this is a little speculative since I haven't done any giant high-scale siege PvP. I don't think anybody has. But, you know, you're going to have, like, trebuchets and stuff to take out. You're going to be assaulting big bases. Hadouken, thank you so much for the sub. Thanks for being here. I, too, am a fan of Hadoukens. Back when I played competitive Street Fighter 2, I was quite the Hadouken, Hadoukenite. Is that a name? It is now. Anyway, we're working up our gun a little bit here. Ammunition is costly, but I'm rolling pretty deep with ammo now, so... And in PvP, having a gun as part of your kit is really nice, so... Accomplished gunsmiths will be in great demand, is my guess for release. So you do have an active block and an active dodge on top of your skills, depending on which weapons you choose to use. I've gravitated toward the spear during this play. It gives me kind of two-handed power with a lot of speed, which I like. The other two-handed weapons, like the Great Axe and the Hammer, they're pretty freaking slow, and they don't have cool moves like the stun. I mean, the Great Axe has an execute move, which is really nice for PvP, but the spear is the most mobile of the two-handers, so I kind of really like it. It gives me the ability to get in and get out of combat as needed, should I find myself in tough territory, which happens. So we're actually looking for treasure boxes, and we're not really finding a whole lot of them. Any sort of encampment you come to is going to have a bunch of them. I got to find 6 more treasure chests in this area to complete my mini quest. But all the while, you know, we're not gonna ignore any other opportunities we have here to pick up, you know, potatoes, pumpkins, carrots, cabbage, broccoli. Now we're talking. I wonder what I can make with this. All right, we got 3 broccoli. Today has been a success. And yes, I did just kill a pig. And, you know, I got pork from the pig. Accuracy right there. Am I right? Ah, sticks. I see you've noticed it's slow gathering. Now, that's intentional. That goes up as we get better at it. So, let me show you something very interesting here. Now that you brought it up. So, I'm playing in Everfall right now. This is all this territory that my faction currently controls. It's purple. I'm playing the Purple Syndicate faction. As I level up in my territory, as I hang out here, I'm going to gain level ups, and these level ups let me do things. I guess I can... At that, I can own a house here now. But I also get other benefits, like 20% more gathering speed because I've been playing in this zone. The more I play and do stuff in Everfall, the better I get at doing stuff in Everfall. And I actually get to guide that hand on most of these territory rewards. So I picked more XP, better gathering speed, and less crafting station fees for my perks so far. And I can enhance those as we continue to play in Everfall. And then obviously better equipment and other things like that can also speed up your gathering rate. I'm using the worst sickle in the game, you know, the handcrafted stone and wood sickle. So it's not going to be the most efficient broccoli harvester out there. But yeah, so when you're like when you're new at a gathering skill, and your equipment may not be the best, and you're in a new zone, it's going to take you longer to do tasks, and you know, sort of simulates the experience of getting good at something over time. Eventually, that broccoli will come much quicker. And again, we're taking the time to stop and smell the cabbage, as the case may be here, as we move through this farmstead. Even though we're looking for these treasure chests, like this one right here, to complete the quest, we're more than happy to stop and gather essential crafting materials. Food is very important in this game. You have basically no natural health regen, so you need to continue to be well fed in order to get base tier HP regeneration going. Everyone can cook. You can take all the skills you want. You're not limited to several professions in this game. You can technically tier up and level up every skill you want, and every weapon. So, yeah, your style of play will be a thing. I would imagine most serious players will take everything to cap eventually. Although that'll be time prohibitive, obviously. Probably when servers go live on the 31st, people will try to spec into certain things to provide maximum benefit to their guild originally. You haven't played an MMO in over a decade, but you figured you'd see what it looked like. Yeah, I've seen that sentiment come out. This is very different than, the core MMO experience that is mostly, say, like, Final Fantasy 14 or something like that. It does have dungeon experiences, but they don't feel great, in my opinion. This game really is about more on the territory wars and what those entail. So if you like playing with big guilds and like PvP and politics and drama and that kind of thing, trying to take over the server, fighting with your friends, that kind of thing, that seems to be where this thing is heading, to me. And not really a dungeon crawler kind of thing, This is much more focused on open world crafting, gathering, and player versus player combat. And big faction wars. Okay. Yeah, this particular quest we're on has taken us quite a while. We basically had to go across the whole farm here. It's normally not the case. You can knock out these little quests pretty easily normally. But I'm not going to complain. We got some broccoli, Here we go. We have been picking up some nice loot here that we're going to break down for repair scraps, too. You got to keep repairing your stuff or it will break. So travel is definitely something that can take a while in this game. No mounts, and fast travel does cost resources if you want to use it. You get the fast travel resource by killing, ancient ethereal supernatural beings. Brian Keith, thank you so much for the sub, Brian. Thanks for hanging out with us at Game Informer. Alright, off we go. Toward our next objective. The Salt Hollow Hunt. We're gonna hunt some wolves. Does that sound like fun? If that sounds like fun, then you might be in the right place. You like the cape thing? Yeah, that's my, that's actually faction gear, Zhang. I have a full set of level 15 faction gear for serving the Syndicate. This is actually really powerful gear for the level. And I got it from doing Syndicate activities. That's my faction. What it really amounts to is sort of a little baby... Like the quest we just did. That would have given me faction reputation. And I can spend that... I can spend the resources I get from quests like that to buy faction-specific, level-specific gear. So, I have a full set of on-brand level 15 gear. So I've got my cool little, like, repping my Syndicate, this is all Syndicate loot, so, you know, depending on which faction you play, you're gonna have stuff. Iron Cloak, there is a whole, like, chart out there on that. I haven't delved too deep into that because, honestly, nobody really cares in this beta state, right? Like, we're not, it's not being taken too seriously. People are just playing around with stuff, so if you control a town, you control the taxes on that town, and everything that happens in that town. So, in that regard, you're going to be bringing in a ton of currency and cash by simply having people... Oh, God. By simply having people do commerce in your village, you know what I mean? As far as the open territory wars, I don't think anyone's going to get to level 60 in the beta in order to experience those. Maybe some super hardcore people. But... right now, we're only really getting a sense of what happens at the low-level Iron Cloak. Which is, again, you'll control territory, and people will be in your lands, and having to pay you taxes on whatever they participate in. So it behooves you and your guild to control those kind of things. And your faction. Again, I don't think that we're gonna get to... Unless Amazon lets us, like, do this kind of stuff early, like... I don't know, they might, like... change level requirements or boost everybody up to level 60 at the end of the beta in order to participate in giant sieges and stuff like that. But they're going for something like that, something sort of like RVR from Dark Age of Camelot or Cyrodiil and ESO, something. So those aren't exactly what they're going for here, okay? But it's the same ballpark. So. Yeah, maybe there was a whole, like, there was a giant 2-page document they served me up right when I unlocked territory as a thing. See, we have, like, there's wars, okay? So, like, you actually will go to war. There's going to be big faction wars for territory. And I'm not sure if I can get a quick breakdown right here. You're going to have siege windows and stuff. There's a whole thing to it. And I don't honestly know the specifics because, again, I don't anticipate any of that happening in a beta period. I don't think anyone's gonna get to level cap in a week, but someone will, I'm sure, right? There's been some people playing nonstop since the beta went live. Personally, I don't want to level up to 60 during a beta, and then just have to do it again when the game launches. That's always an exhausting thing that I have done before. But again, so ostensibly, it all stems from, like, player-controlled towns. So they're managing it. They're setting the tax rate. You know, if you want to set your house there or whatever, like living costs and stuff like that. Your guild can control a whole city. You know, always an attractive prospect in an MMO. Yo, Manual Mess, thank you so much for the sub, yo. Much appreciated. The governing dynamics. Yeah. So I know they can set taxes, Iron Cloak. I don't know much else about that since I'm not a governor. So, as far as the building options go, I'm pretty sure they're static options. You can upgrade buildings and stuff like that. So that's why players are going to want to come to your town, right? So a little bit more about that. Like, if you have, like, a level 3 forge, or a level 4 forge, or level 5 forge, or what have you, that's going to make your town much more attractive than somebody who's only got a level 1 forge. People are going to want to come there to do that stuff, and that takes a whole guild and faction of people delivering materials in order to upgrade that stuff. However, it's kind of on rails, right? You're not going to actually, like, set the... you're not going to build it up brick by brick. You're going to put the components into a holding chamber, and it's going to spit out your building. You're not going to, like, you know, build it up like Minecraft or anything. But it does, you know, force you to group craft, essentially, with your guild, with your allies. And your town will become a destination. You'll be like, oh, I really want to go to Ironcloak's town. They've got like a level 10 forge, so I can make my best equipment. Whereas, you know, maybe Alex's town only has a level 2 forge. So you'd only go there if you were on the road traveling, you know? So yeah, that's how that kind of works, Ironcloak. Alright, we are coming up to our next destination. Stone Tooth Terrace. Where we'll be killing some undead creatures. What a surprise, right? We're gonna get some, throw some powder shot in the gun and take a couple of cracks off before we get into the meat. This should not be a very difficult one. This one's gonna be better than finding the chest. It'll be pretty quick. We only have to kill 8 critters. See, we got one already. Hey, wow, we got a couple of potions off that one. That's nice. Potions are good, and of course you can make them yourself. Potion crafting, definitely good, especially PvP. Everybody who's PvP'd in MMOs before. You know, if you're... It's frowned upon, right, in a 1v1 if you pop a potion, but you know, especially in big battles, everyone's going to be doing it. So those will probably be one of the most sought after consumable resources. It's really like having an extra life in a lot of situations, you know what I mean? So that will be a sought after skill for those creating potions. You know, hey, just because we're here to kill stuff doesn't mean that we can't loot stuff too. Got some tannins. A bacchanal hat? Excuse me? That looks awesome. Can I... Oh, boy. It's much weaker than my current hat, but man, does it look cooler, I think. I wonder if there's transmog in this game. There's gotta be, right? This is like the worst hat I've ever seen, but I kind of want to wear it anyway. See, that is way more stylish. We're going to a costume party. Oh boy. So they generally telegraph their big attacks by flashing white, as you can see. So those are the ones you definitely want to block. Because they can do serious damage. I'm not in too much danger here because, as I said, I'm wearing a complete level 15 faction set. So it's a very nice thing to have. If you start doing your faction quests as soon as they become available, you'll have a whole set by the time you're 15. Now you might be wondering why I'm wasting bullets on enemies that I can handle very easily with my spear. Well, the reason is I'm trying to level up my gun skill. That musket mastery points, you know, those are nice to have. So, kind of like Skyrim, or if you remember RuneScape, like every time you use something, you get better at it, and you get more points for it, essentially. So, all the spear fighting is making me better with spears, and going to give me more points to utilize spears. Same with the musket, right? So, in order for me to get more musket skills and get better at using the musket, I gotta use it. So, as I said, bullets are not exactly, yeah, exactly, 99 smithing, you got it. Bullets are not exactly easy to come by at this point in the game, but I am willing to spend some points on them just to have the ability to, you know, kind of start working up our guns so that we're better in a fight when it matters. You'll notice after every combat I get, like, it shows, like, on the screen very briefly, like, plus X musket mastery, plus X spear mastery, you know, that's based on my usage of these things. Zia says, no classes, no classes. This is a class-free game, skill-based. And by skill-based, I don't mean how good you are, you know. I mean by whatever you want to work up, and then if you change your mind, go ahead. Go, if you try your spear out, you play spear for 10 hours, you don't like spear, no need to re-roll. Simply grab whatever weapon you want to try next and start swinging. Same goes for, you know, crafting, you know? If you spend 10 hours harvesting and then you decide you really want to become a pro miner instead, just grab a pickaxe, no big deal. No need to re-roll. But that does remove, you know, sort of a class-based identity system, which I know people are big fans of, you know? As much as people have said that, you know, people have tried to move away from the so-called holy trinity of healer, healer, tank, DPS, you know? It always goes back to that, doesn't it? Alright, we completed the quest here. We're going to move on. And yes, this game still does feature those roles in PvE. But there are no classes, per se. So I like killing turkeys because they give you poultry. And poultry can be used to make rations. And they also give feathers. If I was using a bow and arrow, it's way easier to make feathers than it is to make gun cartridges. All you gotta do is go kill a bunch of turkeys and you got yourself a bunch of feathers to make arrows with, which is really nice. Obviously the bow is not as cool as the gun, but it's definitely something you can work up and it's still a very valuable skill to have. And it's a heck of a lot better than having to go into the mines to find saltpeter to make ammunition. So you're saying, hey Dan, why are you even looting those feathers though if you're not going to make arrows? Well, I'm not going to use them, but I can take them to the trade post. You know, and I can sell them to other players who want to make arrows. Holly Spice Wolf, great to have you here. Hello. Mad Hype, how you doing? Hype train! Wait, we don't have a hype train. We do have a turkey, though. Lots of turkeys out here. Putting together a regular Thanksgiving dinner. Alright, so we need to find a couple more wolves out here for this quest. This is a gathering quest, so there's different kinds of quests, as you'd expect. They basically all amount to just killing stuff in an area, though. More or less. Not that that's anything different for an MMO, though. So we're looking for wolves. Unfortunately, my tracking isn't quite good enough to spot wolves on my radar, but I can spot turkeys. Alright, we need to kill one more wolf for a sharp fang, and then we're good to go on all of our quests, and we can port back using our totally not a Hearthstone tool to get back to base quickly. But first, we need to find that wolf. Ooh, a Bumble Blossom. I don't know what this is, but... Oh yeah, the fire staff, we are never touching. Magic in this game is just like, oof. Right? We don't even want to engage with that anymore. Meteor Shower didn't live up to expectations, okay? They should just call that move Sparkler. And even that wouldn't, Wow, that was a big gator. Yeah, we don't talk about the meteors. I see a wolf! This is not Holly Spice Wolf, though. Holly Spice Wolf's in chat. This is a gray wolf we need to eliminate. Nope, that's actually a trestle wolf. And is like 20 levels higher than me. Because there's a zone line right here. So we actually don't gonna go anywhere near the trestle wolf. That was. Hey, the giant skull indicates maybe you shouldn't go there. We've come a long way, Holly, since the days of the pitter-patter, the soothing white noise of the pitter-patter of meteor shower. We've learned a lot out in these wilds. Someday our tracking will be good enough so that we can find wolves on the minimap. That'll make these quests a lot easier. But for now, we just gotta find them the old-fashioned way. And we only need one more. There's another person out here hunting, which is probably why we've had some issues with it. Ah, yes. Get bucked. Yep. What a clever name. Ooh, poultry thighs. Those can make some advanced fooderies. I guess we'll take on a gator while we're here. Some of the more dangerous wildlife out there. We got a nice big pile of rawhides to bring home at some point. Alright, we're still looking for that wolf. More turkeys. I see lots of turkeys out here. To be honest, I'm not complaining about that. Turkeys are good. Oh, I see some butter blossom or whatever in the river there. We're gonna grab that. This is right on the zone line though, so I gotta watch out for that trestle wolf. It's like level 50 or something. Oh, look at this. Bumble blossom. This is probably valuable stuff. Hey, pandas, what's going on? How we doing today? Ooh, toadstools. Alright, we need to find a wolf. Another day in paradise? Hey, you're not wrong. Welcome to New World, right? Where we make our own paradise from turkeys and wolves. Good to see you. Good luck. Sutton says, good luck, Dan. I hope you win. We're always winning here. We've already won. Just by hanging out today, I think we've already won. Doesn't matter what happens in game. We're never going to find this wolf, are we? Hey, Sutton, thanks so much. Oh, sorry, Holly Spice Wolf. Well, thank you, Sutton, too, for being here. And thank you, Holly Spice Wolf, for gifting the sub. Thanks for being here, Sutton. And again, Holly's up to 84 freaking gift subs in the channel. That's a lot of freaking gift subs. Thanks a lot. I hope you have an incredible time here today and every day. You know who's not having an incredible time? Us trying to find this wolf. And again, if I had put more, you know, if I had learned, oh no. That guy found a wolf. Unfortunately, he got the skin on it. I need to skin one of these wolves. I think all it's just turkeys. Turkeys everywhere. You know, if you ever want to farm turkeys, this is the place to come. We're going to have a very, very big stack of poultry and feathers by the time we get out of here. Blakey Bear. I am playing on a 2070S. Uh-oh, we got a prediction. We have a channel prediction going on now. Splash those channel points around. I don't know what this prediction is. I'm scared. Oh, whoever set that prediction up, that's a short prediction window. Does Jan enjoy farming? I mean, it depends on what, right? The whole thing about farming in any kind of... There, we got one! The whole thing about farming in any MMORPG is how it's, you know, how it's tackled, right? A lot of the time, there's a lot of other stuff layered on top, but at the end of the day, you're basically just farming something, right? That's how it goes, right? I mean, you can break down people's entire lives into just farming something. But it's what's around that makes things interesting, right? Alright, so we've got our 3 faction quests complete. We're going to go turn them in. And then, we'll probably just continue on my main quest line, see if we can get some progress done on that. I have a syndicate quest to upgrade to a scrivener. So you start off as just a little, like a little character in your faction. But I have the syndicate advancement to a scrivener rank as well, which would be awesome. So let's, I mean, did I say anything wrong? I mean, that's true. I'm just saying, you know, farming and grinding are looked down upon as elements, but it's really all about how they're executed in MMOs and every other game, really, right?
I greet you in reverence, fellow pursuer of knowledge.
So we just turned in those quests. I'm gonna buy some bullets. I got points to burn, which is the only reason I'm going to do it, you know? Oh, wow. We're just going to bulk up. Just give me 200 bullets? Wow. Extravagant. I'm going to go stop and dump a bunch of stuff off of storage before we go out and start doing active stuff. The storage shed, my favorite place. Okay, we got tons of hides. Tannins, you know, we got all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to keep the cooking food on us because we're probably going to need it on the road. Except for the water. Probably don't need the water. Alright. Now where does this quest take us? We have to go... Oh, we have to go into enemy territory... No, do we? Where do we go? Where are we going? Oh, wow. All the way down there. I guess the closest thing is this fast travel point. So you do have fast travel points that you can fuel. You've got to kind of basically use undead elemental juice to do it. So you've got to kill tougher supernatural enemies in order to get that stuff. Like, you're not going to get it off a wolf. But if you kill combat opponents who are undead, they can sometimes drop the resource you use to activate the fast travel nodes. Because otherwise, you're walking. And what's interesting is we also have the ability to go to our tier 2 without a location, huh? Okay, we can't do that one yet. Travel to Brightwood. Where the hell's Brightwood? Oh, it's up there. Okay. So that's our longer-term goal. Our short-term goal is to go very, very far in this direction, all the way down to that point. It's going to be a long walk. But hey, what will we see on the way? That's the question. Can you steal crops? There's no one to steal them from. I can certainly take crops from this farm, but the farm is owned by, like, you know, pigs and the undead. So they don't really care that I'm stealing their stuff. You like the stealing games, you don't know why. I mean, you can turn your you can steal people's lives in this game, okay? Via PvP. Does that count? But no, like, no Skyrim style walking behind the counter and robbing an NPC of their coins or anything. Whoa! Somebody's logging here! You see that? Danamar just brought that tree down right in front of us. Wasn't it spectacular? Alright, we're going to be entering this territory down here. First Light. I haven't really been down here, as you'll notice, since I don't have any landmarks on the map, so we're going to be exploring it for the first time. Agent Kane says, is combat more action-y than WoW? Yes, it is not a tab target MMO. It is definitely an action MMO, but I think the combat is one of the weakest elements of the game. If you're asking for my opinion. It's awkward, kind of clunky, and not very exciting. And without a whole lot of variety as well. That said, there are other elements of the game that I do like. Also, Agent, if it strikes your fancy, because the combat is simplistic in that regard, I think it probably will take very well to the controller once controller play is available. And that also means, you know, if the game is successful and they do bring it to console, that will translate nicely to console controls. Alright, so this is my first time in First Light, so I don't know what to expect here. We're going to be discovering landmarks and stuff along the way as we go to our objective, which is pretty freaking far away. Correct, Agent. I agree with that completely. I think the UI is kind of sparse. It seems to me like they took their cues from like ESO in terms of UI and combat. So definitely not a tab target MMO. But I have not found too much... The combat, I think, is one of the weaker elements. Everything around the combat could be to your liking, depending on what you look for in a game. I think if you play this game like with your friends or with a big guild and stuff like that, that's where this game will shine. In territory, faction wars, and stuff like that. I do not think that it works as well as a, you know, traditional PvE dungeon crawling MMO experience. I think it's weaker in that realm, but I think it's definitely... Most games these days are really kind of afraid to do social structured, faction, guild-based PvP with stakes. You know, though that's sort of a relic from a bygone era of MMOs, all the way back to Shadowbane and Dark Age of Camelot. Yeah, it certainly doesn't help it, Agent, but you know, I don't love the combat, and I can't really rectify that situation. Some of the stuff around it, though, I have been enjoying a lot of. I don't know what it is, but like this is like it seems to speak to me as a crafting kind of experience. Like I just love going out and picking plants and mining and turning those into things. The combat is the weaker element, and you definitely feel it, especially in like group PvE. So like they kind of like dip their toes into the waters of some of the other majors. Like, you know, we have to have dungeons, so they added dungeons. But it's like the combat in this game feels kind of mad wonky when you're like trying to do like a group play PvE experience. It doesn't feel right. Comparisons to Valheim. I mean, yeah, yes and no. You don't get to build up everything from scratch in this game. You get to, you know, farm the materials to do that, but you don't actually get to pick where to put it and all that stuff. I get the Valheim comparisons. This MMO, for instance, has more survival elements than any of the other big MMORPG players, right? You've got a big focus on crafting and learning how to use everything available to you. Silent Dante, are you saying how so to which? Alright, we have a little ways to walk here. I mean, the thing is, Sticks, consider if you go full in on PvP, territory, faction, realm war kind of thing, that's super time consuming, right? You're gonna have to farm up all those materials to have your best possible army ready to go take land that eventually you'll lose back to the other faction anyway, right? So, you know, MMOs are designed to be MMOs are time-consuming elements, no doubt about it. To me, it's always been, am I having fun with my time? At the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Am I having fun with my time? Do I feel rewarded for my time? Am I having a good social experience for my time? These are all elements that play into my MMO sort of, you know, what should I be playing and why? Yeah, I like the aesthetic, Kane. I like it when you're in town and you're like, you know, it really feels, in that realm, in this specific realm, it feels like, you know, very very old-timey. It's like, you know, hey, yeah, I'm here, you know, pounding on steel at the blacksmith, and then I'm going to go over to the workshop and we're going to take this yew wood that I found and turn it into some arrows with some feathers. And Silent Dante, I have seen everybody using all kinds of weapons here, and I wouldn't take anything from it, because you can play all weapons, by the way. You could master every single weapon in the game if you wanted to. It's not level-based for weapons or crafting. You get points and stuff as you use it. Your stats do affect them. And I don't know how expensive respecking your stat points is going to be in the core game, but you can respec. So if you spend 50 hours with a spear, and you're the best spear master ever, and then you decide, I want to use them all, you can change them all, you can master them all, and then you can change your stat points appropriately. No classes. Hey, Von Bon, how you doing, buddy? I mean, something, yeah, I mean, like, here, what you're seeing right now, like, do you like carving up black boars? And then being like, ooh, I got a green pork haunch. And cooking that up at a campfire? With some fresh water and flour? That, you know, I kind of enjoy that. Right? I feel like if they could have got the combat right in this game, and I feel like if they would have gone a little bit more all in, I think they kind of hedged their bets here at the end. With the dungeons, with adding the dungeons and stuff like that. Like, hey, we want to attract the players from other popular MMORPGs that have dungeon crawls. We need dungeon crawls. I don't think they work here. They feel very, like, shoehorned in to what could have been a more niche, but potentially much better, full-on PvP, open-world, faction romp. Like, I feel like they could have done more with the survival elements, right? They're still here, but they're not as punishing and as interesting as they could be. I'm not going to score a beta, Von Bon. Not today, not ever. I am going to take this cabbage. Like, I feel like when you're in a dungeon setting, for instance, the little dungeons that I have done, it just feels like it's you know, 4 players or whatever, or what have you, playing by themselves against a big enemy with just 4 times the life pool. It doesn't feel interesting. And that's fine, because that's not the element of the game that I'm interested in at all at this point. Like, oh, the draw over Chivalry? Wow. So Silent Dante, Chivalry is like, you know, Chivalry is like a 10-minute game, session-based, get in, get out. This is a much longer... This is a game where you are going to be forced to socialize with a community, whether that's your close pack of friends who want to get out there without the oversight of a big guild or faction and just kind of do your own thing in the wild, or you're going to group up with, like, a giant guild and you're going to participate in wars. Either way, you're going to have to be, like, active in those communities in terms of both building up your holdings and participating in team warfare. This is not like Chivalry at all. Chivalry is like the Call of Duty of, you know, first-person melee medieval warfare, right? This is a persistent game in a persistent environment that changes over time based on player action. So, yeah, it's not even really comparable in that sense. This is a persistent living world that you have an effect on, as opposed to Chivalry, where what you do in a map doesn't matter after 10 minutes. I think the RPG, yeah, well, yes, yeah. This is a kind of social PvP, Dante, that isn't part of session-based PvP games like Chivalry or Call of Duty or Overwatch or any kind of thing that you jump into a game and then you jump out. This game, you're in. Like, all these people are here on this server while I'm playing in real time, and the server, when I go to bed, the server continues. You know what I mean? Von Bon, you see the action bar down in the lower right next to my spear? Those contain my cooldown abilities. So basically, Dante, yeah, absolutely. Everything I do on my character is persistent here. The skill I'm getting with the gun right now carries over to the next time I boot up the game. The next time I log into the server, you know? So, traditionally, Dante, and again, I don't know how precisely this is going to work out in this game. Going back to games that have tried models like this, it becomes a very social, community-driven, sometimes very nasty and toxic, right? I don't know how they're going to handle that, but... you know, of Guild 1 fighting Guild 2 for territory. I'm sure you've checked it, like, similar to, you know, you always read about the big Eve Wars, right? That's kind of what we're dealing with here. The ships aren't going to cost you $10,000 or whatever, but it's that kind of big Group A versus Group B trying to take over the server kind of stuff. Sudden, I don't know if there's any emotes. So I don't know if you can do that. But, on the plus side, we are almost to our quest destination. That I've kind of just been meandering to here, on and off, as I was distracted by the cabbage. But good discussion today, folks. Lots of great questions. We played a ton of PlanetSide. Yeah, so not like PlanetSide either. Silent... Yeah, I know what you mean by the PlanetSide reference, though. Yeah, that was always... Actually, Silent Dante, that was a real problem in a game that I played back in the day, Shadowbane. Basically, I was in a guild that was so big and powerful that we just killed everyone else on the server, and then it died. and that was it. So how they do that, I'm sure they have some very, very clever systems in place to do that. I don't know how, but there's got to be some kind of corrective forces at work, right? That's a very good question, and I don't have the answer. It's interesting to try to, like, again, Silent Dante, to sort of look at this game in beta, because we don't really know what Endgame PvP is going to look like. You know, we have no way to perceive that with just this taste of the game. It'll be 100 more hours of gameplay before I'm at the stage where I would be generally participating in that on a live server. Sutton, that's correct. The game was Shadowbane. I'm not going to tell you the name of the guild or who was in it or anything like that, but yes, we did win the entire server, and then Shadowbane died. That's a real story. Well, thanks, Silent. Thanks so much for being here, Silent, and I'm glad I could help. Again, I can only tell you what I've been playing, and you know, I'm 20 or so hours into this beta, but you know, I know very well that MMOs can take hundreds of hours to really get a sense of how it's going to feel later on, right? I think this game starts out very strong, but I can already feel some of the things that are going to be problems later on. Like, doing daily fetch quests like this, like, it's fun for like 20 hours, but it's not going to be fun for 200. And so that's why when it moves into that more persistent PvP experience, I'm hoping that's where a lot of the ongoing action will be found. Because, like, basically at level 60, if I'm still killing skeletons, which I will be, and I'll just be hitting the exact same buttons I'm hitting now, just with a bigger spear, again, it needs to offer more than that. And yes, this game was famously delayed. I actually didn't play it back then, so I don't know what they fixed or what they didn't fix. I can only offer you my opinion on what's here right now. But as you'll notice, we just got another spear point. So, again, not much to these talent trees. Basically, you just fill them up. These are like the most base level. You have no decisions here, okay? You have one decision. You can be a zoner or an impaler, that's it. That's your only decision that you have to make in any weapon tree. You have 2 trees. After that, you know, it doesn't matter. You're going to put the points in anyway, so, like... I don't like you don't have a lot of agency there. You don't have a lot of... you don't have any choice, really. I mean... That's really kind of the point where I ask, why do we even have a talent tree if I can't make any decisions with it, you know? I guess your decision there is, when do you want to point the points in? Because you can choose your skills, I guess, in order, right? Like, 20% damage, last hit of an attack applies slow. Oh, I like that for PvP. But, like, you're just going to get them all, right? Ah, so Silent Dante, I am not PvP flagged currently. Very few people... See, that's another element of this beta, right? People just want to level up and learn the quickest way to level so they can use it on live. That's what people are playing it for now. They want to learn all this stuff so they can do it on live and do it faster and better. So most people are not PvP flagged at all. PvP flag is opt-in unless you're in part of it, unless you're in a territory war kind of situation. Right, Zhang, that's exactly correct. There is nothing you can't get. Eventually you will fill out that entire thing. So I think that's rather meaningless. But since I already didn't like the combat, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, I have already said my piece on the on what I consider to be pretty lackluster combat in this game, which isn't PvE and mostly PvP too. But so that ship has sailed for me, kind of, like, you know. I've accepted that. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm looking at the other things in the game and I'm like, do I like it enough to play with the combat as it is? I like that the territory war thing is a little different than what we're used to. It's been a while since an MMO did that. Like, as a focus. A lot of games have put it in as like a side thing that you can participate in, right? But here it's kind of the crux. So much to the point where I would say if you're not into that kind of thing, then, you know, it's probably not going to be for you then. That's like a huge focus. And I kind of think these other kind of PvE experiences that they've put in here are kind of just, you know, let's try to get some players from another game by having dungeons, even though these are really not what, you know, this game's about at all. And it kind of shows in my estimation. Alright, we got our quest done here. And now, let me guess, I have to go across the freaking world to turn this thing in. Luckily, we have a pretty decent amount of fast travel resource on us. Alright. We just have to get to a fast travel point. Is the closed beta just for pre-order? You could have gotten in if you got lucky and you opted in, Agent, as well. On the website, you could have signed up for it. And then they could have, like, basically randomly pulled your number, so to speak. But the pre-order guarantees beta, I believe. Or it did. I don't know if it still does, but it did. And the beta goes till August 2nd. The weapon switching is very quick. Just like that. But you can't, in my experience, you can't, like, combo with them precisely, okay? So if I'm in battle and I do one spear move and I want to chain into an axe move, that's just not going to work. Not a combo style. I can do one move and then the next move, but it's not going to feel like a combo. Are there pistols? The enemies have pistols. I have not seen player pistols. I don't think players can get pistols. I think just muskets and... I mean, maybe they can. Maybe muskets are just the early game gun, but I think... Let's check. Hang on. No. No pistols for the players. The enemies have pistols, though. And there's a slot for it. Look at the a very obvious 3 of everything except for ranged weapons, right? So maybe pistol just didn't make the cut. I don't know. It seems to me like pistol should be there. So we've been hanging out in this territory in First Light for a while. So we can get, let's see, gathering speed by 5%. Okay. I like that. Storage, crafting fee, trading tax rate. You know, you make those choices when you level up in a zone. So the more time you spend in a zone, the better you get at living there. Sort of an auxiliary progression system. So we're coming up to the First Light Hamlet. Nobody owns this, so we're just going to pay standard NPC village taxes and everything to use services in this town, but it also won't have very good facilities. As I mentioned earlier. We don't really care about that since we're only here to fast travel anyway, up to... We have to turn this quest in all the way up there. Luckily, we killed some skeletons, so we got some blue undead juice that you use to fast travel. It's sort of supernatural energy. Hey, Croc, what up? Okay, let's turn this quest in that we had to walk 1,000,000 miles to go to. Okay, so Silent Dawn, I don't want to compare it directly to Ash's creation system because it's different. But yes, you can advance the city by pooling your resources as a community. So, like, if my guild owns a city, I'm going to want people to come in and dump off their iron and silver and all that other stuff to make the city better, correct? Hi, Jackie. I found it to be a very mixed bag here in beta. I kind of like the open world PvP and territory wars and gathering. I know. The gathering, yes. I said that. I like the gathering. That's the thing I said. I think the combat's really weak. I think it has some other pretty serious weaknesses as well. So I've had a very mixed experience with it. Delve into the Trader's Hold to get the half for my Azoth staff. Alright, where the hell is that? There it is, the first component. Alright, we have a long walk ahead of us. Hey, look at some PvP in the open world. These people are all flagged. So for those of you familiar with other big... Yeah, this is a really bad place to... You don't come to hear PvP flag unless you want to fight. Jackie, that's all you're ever going to get from me is the honest opinion. Thank you for the good question. I find it very, very mixed. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it on release or not. Like, some of the systems I think are... I am a big sucker for crafting and gathering systems, and this game really gets me with the old-timey feel in those regards. Like, you know, running around and cooking up taters and bringing back a big load of skins to our trading post and you know, roaming the wilds with a supply of feed and hardtack. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. Making my own bullets. That's neat. The combat, though, the combat system is... Yeah, not like that, Silent Dante, correct. Actually, I like the crafting in that game, too, but... Hugh, we all want another Star Wars Galaxies. I think the chances of that ever happening are very slim, but you never know, right? On the other hand of things, I also think the combat in this game is definitely one of the weakest elements, and in any MMORPG, combat is the core, right? You're going to be doing a lot of combat no matter what activity you're participating in. And it's definitely not this game's strong suit, in my estimation. Also, travel is a major pain. And I don't know if they did that deliberately so that people would have to, like, you know, PvP more on the way to major goals or to fight over objectives or whatever, but no mounts, which is woof. Yeah, Silent Dante, you know, I like, personally, the more player elements you inject into a game, I think the more fun it is, but those games can also go... They rise and fall by players only, right? Which can be very dangerous. You have to have some systems in place to sort of corral them, right? But I tend to do gravitate toward things that have all player-made gear, all player-made cities. That generally isn't attractive for me. I do like, you know, what is now the traditional MMO, the theme park MMO. I still like those quite a bit, but I also like going the complete opposite direction. And this game feels like it's kind of trying to hedge its bets with a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. And I don't know that you can do that and have it turn out. I feel like you end up with the worst of both worlds, or the lesser of both worlds when you do that, rather than have a singular vision. So while I'm enjoying, baking cookies and farming leather and learning how to track and just farming cranberries to bring home right now, it's hard to say how I'm going to feel about the game in a couple hundred hours. I can't give you that opinion because I've only been playing the game for like 20 hours. But I can tell you what I've experienced thus far. Sure, Hugh. I mean, hey. I mean, I guess I grew up on one of the most major theme parks, which would be EverQuest, right? Although, can we really call it a theme park? Things were different then, right? With non-instance dungeons. Can you believe non-instance dungeons? Boy. Anyway, yeah, I just hope this one can differentiate itself in a meaningful fashion. Again, I've had a pretty mixed experience so far. Some things I like, some things I don't like. And one thing I do know is if I do want to play this game I'm going to have to roll with a crew. Like, there's no way I think... This is not a game for a solo player, I don't think, at all. You play solo until you find a group, basically. Like a big group. And you're going to join your faction, right? Is it, Sutton? I mean, yeah, it's definitely happening. So, Silent Dante, skinning is going to get better as I get... Not only as I get better at skinning, but I can also put points in... You know, I can get a better knife. I'm using the most crude implement to skin as possible that I made in the first minute of the game. The flint skinning knife. I should definitely make a better skinning knife. See, this one has 100% gather speed. I'm gonna need a better... I can get one with 200% gathering speed, for instance, or better. So we should probably make a better skinning knife. And a better anything. Should probably make a better... All my crafting tools really are garbage. So, thanks for calling me out live. How am I liking the story so far? As far as I can tell, there isn't one. Yeah, I would definitely not advise you to play this game if you're looking for a story experience, okay? I can tell you that. I don't need to play any more of the game. I can officially say that right now. That analysis has concluded. Like many... without the jokes there, like many other games that feature emergent storytelling, like, the story is what the players make of it, right? Like, maybe on your server, the Marauders have taken over everything, but on my server, the Syndicate rules, and there was a big battle at 4 a.m. one night, and, you know, places burned to the ground. You know, the stories are player-made. It's about the little single-session PvP you have, or the big battles. Yeah, lots of running. No mounts, Zang. And there are fast travel nodes, but I don't have one unlocked near this point, so we're going to pick it up on the way here. Most likely there will be something to find along the way, like a fast travel point. Sudden, I agree with you completely. Silent Dante, because that's because there really isn't any. Listen, here's the story. You're trapped in a world with undead stuff and other players, and wait, what if the real evil was the other players? Oh, you better join a faction and then try to, like, take out the other players and take over the new world. There's your story, okay? Oh, and also there are undead things somewhere. I mean, again, and it doesn't need to have a story. The story is your tale, right? And my tale included shooting turkey. And cows. I mean, I like skinning because it actually ups your tracking skill too. So that way when you have a quest, even if you're not interested in doing a lot of skinning, it'll put animals up on your radar with the tracking skill. So if you get a quest to be like, oh, I need to find those wolves, like we had earlier, I'll be able to see them on the mini-map so I can find them a lot easier. We're making our way to this quest objective, slowly but surely. Quite the jaunt over here. And this is pretty typical. You are going to have some walks. But hey, along the way, maybe you find some berries or a turkey or a wolf. A woof. Silent, I'm here to chat with chat. So, you know, this is not a sponsored stream or anything. We can talk about whatever you like. I'm playing New World for my own personal, you know, knowledge and to share it with y'all too. Yes, I have been to a good number of BlizzCons in my life. That's correct. I mean, there's... What could I even say about the situation except that it is a huge surprise to me and absolutely awful. Truly disgusting. And I don't know how anyone else could ever feel differently about it. I wish, Sutton. Hey, have their people call my people. Let's make that happen. You know, I'm glad you like the walking, Hugh, but I feel like it could get very old. I get it, so it has meaningful impact in PvP and stuff like that, when you're having to, like, walk from fort to fort, but the world is pretty large, and you have to walk really, really far sometimes. It's okay, so look, it's super annoying to get a quest like across the world, from across the world, like you travel across the whole way and then they just send you back to the same guy that gave it originally. It's just like, come on. And we're talking big walks, okay? Big walk energy. I don't think a game has to have mounts, but I think they should probably reduce the cost of the fast travel. And what you said is true, Hugh. That's true. Does your body block other players? It does. Yeah, you know, apparently there aren't horses in this new world. That makes sense, right? Now, Silent, that would be cool. They should definitely do that. Somebody get Amazon on the phone. We got a musket level up. Alright, I can get powder burn. I can overload the musket with gunpowder. Now they burn when I shoot them with that thing. Nanaka, I did, you know, that's, I did get an Elgato face cam. It arrived today. I plan to set it up, before this evening. I didn't have a chance to do it today. A Dantac mount? Well, that's a very special mount. That comes from a very special, you have to go to the extra special cash shop to get that one. Also available, the Dantac body pillow. Yeah, I'm hoping to set it up shortly after the stream, Nanaka. Great question. It does help posture. I could, honestly, I could use some help with my posture. I spend a lot, as you'd imagine, I spend a lot of time in front of this computer screen. We need to find the Soul Warden Cache down here. What do we got? Where is this thing? Is it up on top? That Grenadier's in a hurry to get somewhere. Oh man, sometimes loading your musket in the middle of combat can take a while. I mean, obviously we're loading our musket really fast in comparison to actual musket loading, but you know, it works here. That's right. So we're trying to find this cache down here. I think we've just gone a full circle though, right? Okay, apparently we have to go in here and then down into this thing. Wait. It's supposed to be right here. Where is this thing? You'd think something called the Soul Warden Cache would be easy to find. What in the... How do you get to this thing? Oh no, no jumping puzzles, Silent. Don't even start with me. There's no jumping puzzles in this game. I'm not a fan of jumping puzzles in MMOs, although they've been more popular in them, you know, over the last decade or so. Okay, well clearly we've been here like a dozen times. And it's not down here. Ground Down says we need a daily stream called Dan Tactics. Well, tell all your friends about the stream and get them to show up. And maybe we will. Only the finest tactics on Dan Tactics. We did have that Pro Tactics show. I think we made 2 total episodes of it. Way back in the day. That was a fun one. Okay, where is this thing? This Soul Warden Cache is really starting to annoy me now. It is pretty brilliant, I admit that, yeah. That's a good idea. For a lunch break, Dan Snacktics. It fits! It fits very well. Am I happy for a Dead Space remake? Absolutely. Can't wait. I'm sure, you know... I wouldn't say no to a Dead Space 4, but... I think I'm gonna be pretty comfy with the remake. I'm all about it. Sure, let's do it. Now, granted, we didn't really get to see anything, but, you know... A tease is a tease sometimes. I can dig that. So what is it? It's over there, right? How do I get up there? I see it now, right? It's that thing up there. Oh, you can climb up there. No. I mean, they made... That decision is, you know, that decision that was made, and... You know, I know... I think a lot of people aren't happy with that particular choice, Silent Dante. But that is what happened, right? That's over and done. Sadly, you know, I agree with you on that. Alright, now we have to walk all the way back. Wow. Unless we can find a fast travel point. I do not think it's them saying that at all. It's them saying we have a really cool IP here in a game that everybody liked. And, you know, Resident Evil 2 worked, so why don't we just do that? Right? That's my interpretation. Thank you, Home Skillet. I don't think I've said that in 20 years. Speaking of skillets, you know, I bet we can get some eggs and some turkeys here, and we can make some omelets. Yeah, I didn't see all the details, Dante, but, you know, hey, I'm down for it. Let's see how it turns out. I kind of think that, you know, remaking this one probably is a better idea than making Dead Space 4, as you said. I don't think they're gonna... Silent Dante, I don't think that they're gonna inject microtransactions into it. I would not expect that. Pokemon Unite, yeah, I played some of that. I played some of that last night. Silent, I think they're gonna leave it alone microtransaction-wise. The pushback on that wouldn't be worth it. They have plenty of other games to put microtransactions in, okay? That isn't a good fit. So we've got to get to a fast travel point to get back to that fast travel point. I guess the closest one is here. Was it like your first MOBA, or was it good? Definitely it is... I mean, that could be a good thing, right? Depending on how you feel about MOBAs. It's very simple. Yes. I don't think anyone would have a problem playing it. Super accessible for a MOBA. Only 2 lanes, 2 abilities. Like, yeah, you can definitely get into that if you know, if you're... it's not going to be my thing, but I certainly wouldn't call it good. I know we have people on staff who love it. I think Alex Van Aken is really into it. I played it for about an hour last night, and I don't know if I'm going to play it again. We'll see. I might. I had a couple of good games on Slowpoke and... Who else did I play? Crustle, or whatever, the crab. I also had a good game on Charizard. Oh wow, there's a whole mine system here. This is good to know. Yeah, it's 5v5, 2 lanes. Basically, it takes everything... It's all the stuff that you know about MOBAs pared down and distilled. Very simplified MOBA play. I mean, very simplified. which, depending on what you want, might be for you. Games are only 10 minutes long as well. Obviously, it's going to be on mobile, so you wouldn't want to have to play half an hour. So yeah, it's a 2-lane game. You get points. You put points in sort of like basketball-style nets. It's again just a very, very simplified MOBA experience. If that's what you're looking for, with cute Pokemon involved, then I guess you know it could be the right fit for you. All right, we're gonna fight a fast travel point and go back to our quest giver. The auto battles. So you're talking about the auto chesses. They're still making those, Silent Dante. There's some pretty good up and coming ones. You should check out Storybook Brawl is my current favorite. It's available on Steam Early Access. Check it out. Also, Pokemon would have made, like, the most obvious auto-battler ever, right? Like, they already evolve. I don't know why they haven't made one. Here, we're coming up on a fast travel point here. Is that the one with zombies attacking from directions? No. I have no idea what you're talking about. Plants vs. Zombies? That's not an auto-battler. Yeah, Silent, I have no idea what you're talking about, but Storybook Brawl does not have any zombies attacking from directions. It's an auto-battler, like Teamfight Tactics, you know, or Dota Auto Chess. Alright, we finally come to a fast travel point here. Luckily, I've been killing enough undead monsters that I have enough currency. Again, you know, if they took the currency away from the fast travel points, I think that would take the sting out of it quite a bit. But you gotta pay, this little blue undead gel to use it. Yeah, check it out. I mean, hey, if you like the other auto battlers, believe me, you'll like this one. It's good. It's in early access. It's on Steam. I like it.
Well, now, it's been an age and well done. Because it won't be easy. No, I'm afraid not. Our methods are somewhat cruel, but impossible now. If this woman still exists, you will...
Okay, she's up near another fast travel point. That's kind of convenient, but I also don't know if I have any more undead juice. Let's see. Yeah, definitely, you know, is he really a hermit if he's got all these people over? I mean, he's like he's the big quest NPC for the early game, so yeah. Does it really count as being a hermit? Not very good at being a hermit, is he? Alright, let's see what we got here. Search for the mysterious woman who communes with the angry earth. Hmm. I've done that before. Ah, spotted hair. You're actually thinking of becoming a hermit. Well, interesting. That's an interesting choice. Let me know how it works out for you. I mean, hey, that's a... You don't have to deal with people, right? There's some perks. Yeah, you know, Silent Dante, I think I got some experience in that realm as well during that the year of 2020 was the thing that happened, certainly. Yeah, Styx, it's, boy, 2020 was quite the time. Sneak attacks. Yeah, kinda. I'm gonna say no. Not what you mean, probably. But, like, yeah, you can, like, you know, you can kind of attempt to sneak up on something like this.
You tread on what was once hallowed ground. No surprise.
I don't think that exists, saying, but I could be wrong. I haven't tried all the weapons.
That feeds this fountain.
Those might be tied to other things. I don't know about that. Investigate the Canary Mine. Yes, son, that's correct, son. Headshots do more. Yes, that's accurate. Yeah, that has certainly been tested by me. Wait, cut down corrupted tendrils near the Canary Mine. Alright. We're gonna have to wait for some to spawn, huh? He seems quite upset. Crypto Incorporated. Wait, I thought I'm already in a company. Well, I probably shouldn't just join a random guild here on stream. That could be probably pretty bad. Let's decline that. But I appreciate the invite. Well, I don't see a whole lot of corrupted tendrils here. Is that true, Sutton? I don't think I confirmed that. Corrupted tendrils. I know I've seen them around here before. This is not my first trip to the Canary Mines, folks. Kind of like a big enemy spawn. That looks like a giant corrupted tendril. But I don't see him right now. Oh boy, Sutton. That did not happen. Okay, maybe it did. Like, share, subscribe. We got no corrupted tendrils out here. Hey, Dante. I don't know when we're gonna get that localized, right? We already have. That's right. It's been out in Japan for like what, over a year now, I think. I really wish they localized it. I had a great time with the first game. Very classic dungeon crawler. But I haven't heard anything about that game in a very long time, so I hope we get it soon. I mean, COVID ravaged the processes of every industry, really. The sequel to Labyrinth of Refrain, Low Reser, is what we're talking about right now. Very briefly, as we wind things down here, because the stream is almost about to end. Can you believe that? Time flies when you're having fun. There is a sequel. It's been out in Japan for a while. I don't know when or if we're getting that localization. I assume we are. There is a sequel. 'Tis true. Alright, people are farming the crap out of this place. I don't know if we're ever going to see a corrupted vine. I mean, that's why I should have joined the guild there. That way I could have just gotten in on the quest from a group or something. But I mean, it should be easy. These vines are pretty low. Oh, there's one. Oh my god, they killed it before I could even tag it. Wait, is it dead already? Oh god, it better not be dead. Oh my god, it's already dead. It's already dead. This is a... Why are all these people... It's just like 1,000 people here trying to kill these vines. Oh my god, it's so silly. It reminds me... It's definitely like, you know, a day one MMO thing right there. Classic. That's right, Low Reser. Anything in the noob zone, basically, that gets overcamped as a quest NPC or monster fits the bill for this one. You know, you'd think they'd have variable spawn rates when there's like 1,000 people nearby. But I guess that could be a problem in this game, more so than other MMOs, because the resources get used directly in PvP. I don't know. I don't know how they balance that. Because then you can just stop, you know, you could put 100 people in an area just to farm super fast, if that was the case. But you gotta have variable speed spawning under normal circumstances, right? So that, like, this doesn't happen. Not that this is a big deal, like I could just group up or whatever, but since we're wrapping things up here anyway, I'm not too concerned about killing our corrupted tendrils. I do want to take this time to thank everybody for coming today. I've had a blast. I hope you did too. We are going to be winding things down to wrap things up here. This was our second stream of New World. We did one as well on Tuesday, where I had no experience going in. Now, a few days later, I've played a considerable amount of the game, and I'm ready to weigh in with beta impressions and everything like that, which you can check out at GameInformer.com if you didn't catch me talking about it on the stream today. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Some things I like about it, other things I think are definitely lackluster. So it's really weird to see where I'm going to land on it, like, in finality and completeness. Or if I even want to do that, right? Because an MMO, that's like a couple hundred hours before you really know. You know what I mean? Some interesting questions. But I've had a good time farming cabbages, carrots, potatoes, chicken, wolves, turkeys. Just bringing them back to the storage shed. Anyway. Thank you, Sutton. I appreciate that. And thanks, everybody, for coming today. We have a big stream tomorrow, and I'm going to spoil a little bit about it. We do have your regularly scheduled episode of Replay tomorrow, where we're going to be eating some of the hottest wings in existence. So even if you don't want to come watch Sekiro, which you should because it's really spicy, the wings are going to be even spicier. I can't believe we had people agree to this. It's going to be very hot, literally. And I might, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be very, very dangerous. Dangerous, even. Hey, you're welcome, Sticks. Again, I've got a write-up on the site as well, and there's a previous episode we've got on YouTube of me playing on day 1 with no clue what to expect. Here, this is sort of like day 2 impressions, even though it's really day 3. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We will catch you on the next stream. Join us tomorrow for Super Replay at 2 p.m. CST, where we're going to have super hot wing Sekiro time. Anyway, I gotta say goodbye. I know. I'll just sit here and say goodbye all day if I'm not careful. So, please have a wonderful freaking day, and we'll see you next time at Game Informer. Peace out.